What's up, Guardians, and welcome to another Destiny gameplay video. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing the Felwinter's Lie shotgun, which is currently the most used special weapon in competitive playlists and among competitive players, and still remains the most popular shotgun in the Crucible to date. So the question is, why is this weapon so dang good? Well, check out the range. This is typically not one-hit range for a shotgun, but there was easily able to drop those Titans with a one shot using the hammer forged and shot package skills. So first and foremost, what are the roles people look for on these? Well, typically you're going to want accurized ballistics. This one has return to sender. That one doesn't really matter. But hammer forged and shot package in conjunction with accurized ballistics is what makes this weapon fantastic. Now, a lot of people compare it to the Judgment 6, and statistically speaking, an identical Judgment 6 will have statistically about the same range, but much less impact. And that's where the difference is. And that's what separates Felwinter's Lie, is the combination of its range and impact. So it's so effective at such a long range that it can consistently outclass and outperform a lot of fusion rifles at range. And so I found even here, this is typically not one-shot range for a shotgun, but with Felwinter's Lie, it's easily able to do it. Now, I have used Judgment 6 extensively. I've had that particular Judgment 6 with those kind of perfect, ideal rolls on it since I leveled up my New Monarchy faction to level 3 probably 5 months ago, or 6 months ago now. In fact, I do recall, and you can go back in my previous videos and see, I used that weapon in the very first Iron Banner ever and had a lot of success with it. But that's how long my relationship with that shotgun has been and how far back it goes. And I can tell you that the Felwinter's Lie can consistently outperform it. And you know, just taking Felwinter's Lie for my very first game using Felwinter's Lie with shot package and hammer forged. My very first game with it, I was able to pull out 46 kills. So the learning curve on it is it's super user friendly. Now, one of the defenses that I hear very frequently for Felwinter's Lie, and they say, oh, this weapon isn't OP. One of the things they say is, well, you know, if you miss your first shot or you don't land all your pellets, you're pretty much dead because of the fire rate. And I've just simply found that to not be true, not by a long shot. And that's because it's so easy. If for some reason you don't land all your pellets, if for some reason you don't get that one-hit kill, it's so easy just to follow that up instantly with a melee attack and easily drop your opponents. And you'll see that in this video. There are a couple of times where when I ADS, I'm just a little bit off of center, and I'm able to easily, like right there, follow it up with a melee attack, which gives me the kill. And, you know, I just kind of go about my business and continue racking up more kills afterwards. So, is this weapon OP? Is it always OP? You know, I think that currently the way that the game is balanced, the way that this weapon, its base stats, the way that those are, I think that currently, with the way that the Crucible is set up, it is pretty consistently outclassing other weapons. And it's obviously so, because of how much attention and love it gets and how many people run around with it. It's pretty obvious that it's #1 best in class. So I do think that it's a little imbalanced. Is it always that case? You know, no. I think that personally, for my taste, I would never go with Felwinter's Lie on Shores of Time. Some people do, and some people have success doing that. But, you know, I had some success playing with it there as well. But I would just never sacrifice my sniper rifle on Shores of Time. I can get so many more kills with a sniper than I can with a shotgun on that map. And the same goes for the Combined Arms playlist. I think that you're probably going to consistently get outperformed in the Combined Arms playlist if you're using Felwinter's Lie. And even like a lot of people combine Felwinter's Lie with The Last Word. It's the standard try-hard setup. I think that in the Combined Arms playlist, you're just consistently going to get pooped on. But for the most part, for the you know, most of the maps, the overwhelming majority of the maps, in fact, I mean, take this map for example, take Anomaly. it was just a rumble map, but it got added into the rotation for control. So now you've got lots of volumes of, high volume of enemies in tight quarters. A lot of people are going to be running around with Felwinter's Lie. So currently, I think currently it is pretty powerful, maybe a little bit too much so. I do think that it's probably going to get a little bit of a rebalancing, and I think to reinforce that, reportedly Bungie even joked that the guy that designed Felwinter's Lie isn't allowed to make weapons anymore. So there's some acknowledgement on their part that this weapon's probably going to get addressed down the road. And I think that we can anticipate that. I think that's going to be the case. I think that, my opinion and my guess is that what they're going to do is just drop that the base statistical value of the range on this weapon. That's what I think they're going to do. So that's just my opinion. I think that currently, having used this weapon pretty much all weekend and feeling like a giant tool doing it, I don't think I'm ever going to go back to using this thing again. I felt so jerky. I felt like the biggest tool in the Crucible. But in my opinion, having used it pretty extensively, I think that there's a reason why it consistently outclasses and outperforms other shotguns. Does it mean that other shotguns are irrelevant and can't stand a chance against this weapon? No, not at all. That's not what this means. But Bungie has shown pretty consistently that they are really interested in maintaining proper balance in the Crucible, and one of the things that they've said is that they're interested in creating powerful weapons that don't become the only logical choice for their class. And it seems like that's what's happened with Felwinter's Lie, is that now it is best in class, and the majority of shotgun users are using this weapon, and it's because of the combination of its impact and its range. So yeah, and I'll show you even a little bit down the road here. I'll kind of freeze frame it for you. But when you look at the damage values, when it's within its effective range, when you're within the effective range of the shotgun, you'll find that it's really, really easy to land. If you shoot, kind of just aim for center mass, it's really, really easy to land about 9 pellets, give or take. And each of them doing 23 to 24 for their damage value. That's well over 200 damage, which means a one-shot kill. And that's why this weapon causes so many people to rage, is because they're like, oh my goodness, I laid like half a mag of auto rifle ammo into this guy, and he just pulls the trigger once and kills me from, 15 feet away. Well, that's just the way that the gun is right now. It can do that much damage at that range with one pull of the trigger. And right there, you'll see what I was talking about earlier. My reticle, when I sighted in on that guy, I was a little bit left of center. And so I only was able to land just under half of my pellets. But even so, it took the guy's shield out entirely. I quickly followed it up with a melee and took no damage from the guy. So it's pretty easy to do just that, the shot melee combination. So there you see from that range, look at that range, and 23 to 24 damage per pellet. And so that's why it's able to one-shot at that range. So currently, I think that this weapon is it's consistently more powerful than other weapons of its type, and consistently outperforms even hand cannons at close to mid-range sometimes. So those are my thoughts on it. I think that it's gonna get rebalanced a little bit. Am I like, OMG, Bungie, please nerf, grr? No, I'm not super raging about it. But I do think that we're gonna see this weapon get nerfed in some capacity down the road. Now the new maps do cater towards all kinds of playstyles. It looks like, just having watched a lot of the gameplay, it looks like the new maps are going to cater towards a lot of different styles of gaming, even on one map. Lots of different areas and spaces that play to certain styles. So I do think that we're going to see some variation down the road. I'm really excited for the future of this game, really excited for the future of the Crucible. Those are just some of my thoughts. Feel free to leave some of your own in the comments section. Thanks, guys.